What's up? What's up, people? What's up? I've got up a little strange today, to be honest with you. I got to be honest with you. Because, again, I got to take a break. I got to take a break. And hold on one second. Let me see what's up with this. I think it's what's going on here. All right. I don't know what's going on here. My phone is acting up. Let me address some things. I have to take a break. Honestly, and I'm just gonna do some podcasts and just invite certain people because I do appreciate and treasure certain people that come on online with me, and they deserve it. You know what I'm saying? They're very respectful, supportive, very respectful. And if there's anything that I say out of order, anything that I say, and by all means, they will let me know. I know that they will let me know. You know what I'm saying? But the other fake weirdos out there, bro, the hell with you, bro. The hell with you. I'm gonna give it to you raw. I'm gonna tell you like this. I'm a freaking general, bro. I ain't no soldier. I've been through that. Captain Lieutenant, I'm a freaking general. Just like you see in the United States, the Joint Chief of Staff on the side. That's me. I'm a freaking general, bro. In these streets. In these streets, I'm a general. I earned the right to be a freaking general. Okay? 41 years going out to the street and propagating and helping to uplift the minds of our people. 41 years. Okay? I'm 60 years old. 41 years. At 17 years old, I went out there to the public with books, speaking, what we call it, tabliking back then, propagating in the streets, educating, teaching to 5%ers, to gangsters, to ex-convicts, to just people in the streets, on the train. We got on the train, okay? Let me tell you something. There is no Latin kings, no blood, no nietas. None of those gangs, weirdos, had ever done what we done in Bushwick in Brooklyn. Never. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me keep it really real here. Let me give you the backdrop. My elders, okay, my brothers, when they went into Bushwick, it was a drug-infested neighborhood. They cleaned that shit up. You had guards on the roof. You had dudes with M16s and Israeli Uzis. You had the firepower to drive drug cartels, drug dealers out of the freaking neighborhood. We drove them out. That Galante had a problem with that because Knickerbocker, that's Bushwick, so the mob had a little problem with that. Paul Castellano invited my teacher, my mentor, to his house to discuss. He was proud what we have accomplished with that neighborhood because they had a rift in the mafia with that neighborhood with Galante. That's how Galante got iced. You see? Got iced. I don't know the whole story behind that, but I got elders that could tell you this story, man. And I'm going to one day bring them in and tell you the whole story about that. But if you look at, historically, if you look at the area of Bushwick, that was infested with fucking weirdos, antisociable people. And what did my elders do? Cleaned it up. And what did we do when I came in there in 1979? Okay, I went out. And let me tell you something, the world looked at us like we were crazy. Because here we are in New York City, brought up in the Bronx, here we're in New York City, and we're putting on white garb, a white Emma, and walking around with books and teaching. Okay? Let's keep it real. Regardless of what you think, regardless of what you think about that man, Dr. York, no, regardless of what you think about him or what he's done, because we're going to speak about that. no matter what he's done, still look at what he accomplished, and we all accomplished. It's taking this neighborhood and cleaning it up. We cleaned up the damn neighborhood, y'all. I haven't seen no Latin kings, no blood, no nietas, I haven't seen no organization do something like that. And I come from the Young Lords paradigm at that time, and they've done a lot of good things in the neighborhood, like the lunch program or whatever. But they didn't quite take a neighborhood and make it their own and clean a community and make a community out of it and build a school for the children. We built a school for the children and for ourselves, a university, an institution called the Hall of Knowledge. We went out every day, open up the newspaper and show the architectural drawing, okay? And telling you we're building this Hall of Knowledge. And we told you what we're going to teach them. We're going to teach them about the scriptures, the Old Testament, New Testament, and the Holy Quran, the Suhuf, the Psalm, all those books. They're going to learn about Buddhism. They're going to learn about all of that. And they're going to learn other languages. We're teaching them in Spanish. We taught them, of course, English, Arabic. Some even spoke Hebrew. I mean, yo, it was an institution. We built that. I used to, in the middle of the night, go down there and gut out the damn basement and pull out those stones in order to make those brown stones, put them together to make that Hall of Knowledge. Stop the bullshit. Stop glorifying even jail. Let me tell you something, and not the ones that are in there innocent, because there's a lot of innocent people in there. I had to do time, and I did not commit the crime, but I had to do the time. I had to do almost 8 months, 6 to 8 months in Orlando, Florida, time for a case, a domestic, and I'll be vulnerable here, I'll tell you. It was a domestic violent case, but I did not do anything. What it was is my spouse was drunk and belligerent. They seen the bottle of vodka on the floor. I don't drink like that. And so I had to take it. I had to take it. You know what I'm saying? I had to discipline in a way, her in a way, but then my daughter ratted me out because they all they wanted to know that I put my hands on her. Damn right, I put my hands on you. You're disrupting my household. I got every right. But you see, they stripped me from that right. Right? So there's a lot of people that's innocent that did time. I'm not speaking to you. I'm talking to the antisociable weirdos that get on the internet and glorify jail and glorify these gangs, and they antisociable. They harmed, they rob, and they steal, and and in their own community, they shit it in their own community. They shit it in their own community. And then you got weirdos like Hassan Campbell. Please, bro. Talking about the Zulu Nation. It started as a good thing. Bambaataa tried to take him. Matter of fact, Bambaataa, he took his group, his organization, and merged it also because he was a student, an AO student, where I was a student of, and that come from the same school, vein that I came from, African Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation. But again, when you got antisocial weirdos coming into an organization, shit happens. And then you got a weirdo like this on the internet. He's an internet celebrity. He's a freaking weirdo. Antisociable weirdo. You see about everything he spits out, and you're going to glorify this dude? Speaking to my youth, you're going to glorify somebody like that? Don't glorify me because I don't want it. And I'm going to tell you the story about the signifying monkey. Don't glorify my master teacher. Don't glorify any of us because we don't want that glorification. We just want you to do the right thing. We want you to do the right thing. Be a social, be an benefit to your community, damn it. Even on this YouTube community, be a benefit from it. Because these people are sitting back on the internet laughing at y'all. Laughing. And little by little, guess what? They're about to strip you. They're about to take your channel away. And I don't care. Take my channel away. But all I do is spit truth out here, man. All I do is spit truth. I want to acknowledge people. Bondo, what's going on? Yes, Bondo. That's my brother. That's the flag from Lares. That's a revolutionary flag. That's a Lares flag. Okay? And I'll speak to you about it. Because, you see, that's the school. That's the school we come from. What's going on? Melanie Diaz. Perdón. When the sisters are here, I always have to acknowledge our women, our goddess. And Melanie is doing great work out here, let me tell you. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on one second. I got to plug my computer in. Yeah, and that's another thing. You see people doing good work on this internet. Like, look, for instance, on my Facebook, Melanie Diaz is watching. The good work that she does upon genetic and teaching, you know what I'm saying? Where's the support, y'all? Where's the support? Doing things that are beneficial for us as a people. No support. And that's okay, because it's been documented. And as long as one person's acknowledge it, that's enough. Because again, like I tell you, this, call it internet beef, call it whatever, and it's a shame that even a lot of our people, Boricua, they claim the flag, but they're so antisocial and weirdos. I don't get it. You claim your hood, but you're weirdos. You're antisocial bull, man. What's up with that? And I don't care. Because like I said, I'm a general. I will damn slap the hell out of you, man. I'll go toe to toe. I don't care, like the 10-toe down shafts. You know what I'm saying? I'll go toe to toe with anybody because I have no fear. I fought 5 people war at one time. People could tell you that in Burke and Holland. I fight back. My family, I fight back, y'all. And if you come at me anyway, I'm going to come back to you twice because that's the way I am. But you know why? Because I'm a benefit to society. There's no way I'm going to allow antisocial weirdos try to come at me and try to shame me. That ain't going to happen. Or shame our women. That ain't going to happen. To shame our children. That's not going to happen. That is not going to happen. I can look at me real good. Look at these eyes, real good. That's not going to happen, y'all. So cut your weird shit out. And let people know that this is all for entertainment. You want to get into this internet beef and all this crap on here. But let me tell you something. There's organizations, there's institutions. They're sitting back and watching you destroy yourself. And then little by little, they're going to cut you from that metaverse. You have nothing beneficial for your own people, for your family, for you. Nothing beneficial to humanity to give, to contribute to humanity. You don't have it. You could talk glorified jail? Really? As a lot of you've been to jail because you've done some antisociable shit. I fell for it too on the block. Right? I had to have this other man come and cuff me and take me into central booking a couple of times. Antisociable shit. And I wasn't brought up like that. My mom didn't raise me up like that. I learned that shit from the streets. From antisociable weirdos in the street. That's how I don't glorify street homies out there. I don't glorify you at all. You see me in the street, brother? You respect me and you acknowledge me. Don Cilo, ¿cómo está? Lo más bien. Don Cilo, how you doing? I'm doing fine, man. How you doing? Okay, let's keep it popping. Stop. Bro, you just don't see it. You know what I'm saying? I woke up kind of weird today, you know, and weird. So you see this on the internet. Now you see there are channels that they have debates and they on and on because but they tell you from the get-go, This is what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a shout out to those brothers. This is what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? But still, there's that element of antisociable, and you have to be strong enough to recognize it. You have to be strong enough to remedy it. Because if not, it's gonna make you sick. I've gotten sick, let me tell you, just by speaking to certain people on a video chat, on a podcast, just by speaking to them, I got sick. Because that I'm sensitive like that. Those antisociable personalities, I don't like it. I'm a percussionist. You know what I'm saying? I play congas, bongo, barril. That's my music. You know what I'm saying? That's my music. I'm a conguero. I resonate like that. I'm a percussionist. You know, I love my culture. My plena, my bomba, guaguancó, you name it. My salsa and my hip hop and my R&B. Because that's my condition. That's the way I was brought up. So that's how I resonate. You know what I'm saying? But I'm no chump in the street. I've been through those streets. I've been through those battles in the streets, fighting and shit. You know, I had dudes pull up guns at me, and I still fought them. And you know matter, I ain't so tough. But when it comes to my life, yo, my children's life, or women and children's life, yo, it's on. It's on because, again, I'm a general. I'm no captain. I'm no freaking pawn soldier. I'm a freaking general. And you too, Bonyo, Floyd. Appreciate you. And so you have a lot of weirdos out here that glorify. Look at that. I got a lot of friends of mine, acquaintances on here that even been through the judicial to the penal system. And with that, they change. You don't see them glorifying the shit. It's over with. If you're going to use it as a lesson, but I don't hear that. If you're going to lose it, use that experience as to obtain wisdom, as to say, this is right and wrong in the history of things, and you're going to educate the youth like that, then by all means, do it. That's how I like King Tone, King Ace, what he's doing. Sometimes he gets on his podcast, he let people know straight up. There's where you can remedy things, you know what I'm saying? And you use those experiences, but I don't see them glorifying it like these other weirdos glorify it. And then they take that same mentality and they put it on the internet. You know who I'm talking about. You know who I'm talking about. How are you going to put that in the damn internet? And then you're going to glorify being a Latin king? Really? What has a Latin king done? What has a Nieta? Nieta's done what they had to do in the jail. That's different. But Latin kings, when it first started, it was different than what it is today. That's true, Bonyo. The Latin kings of back then are different than the ones today, or the Bloods and Crips. Bullshit, y'all. Bullshit. You try to claim the streets because you got your little blicky on you or something, and you try to claim, no, you try to do this and that and try to run the drug business, but you don't run you're just a pawn in the drug business. We know where the real drug business is at. We know where it comes from. You're not there. You're just a pawn in the game. You know, this shit started over here with Tasaki 6ix9ine bullshit and the Trey 9 and shit. They were Bloods. Bullshit. Look at them now. Look at them where they at now. Doing mad time. Look what they at now. Sitting back, either getting it in the back or listen, doing that thing up there. Come on, man. I heard stories. I didn't see those. I heard stories. Let me tell you a story, bro. Keep it real with you. I'm walking Orchard Beach, and we're hanging out with a couple of friends in Orchard Beach, because we used to go to Orchard Beach all the time and play congas, right? So we used to go out there, right? So we hanging out with this guy. I'm not going to mention his name. This dude that he's a tough dude. I seen this dude pull out guns, and this guy was managing for this Italian guy, the Tarantino crew, you know, that I thought I was a part of, and found out later on that no, I got a beat down from my own damn crew. You know what I'm saying? And how ridiculous that was. So here this guy is, and he's a matter. I'm walking on Orchard Beach. So this big dude come up to him, and he says, and his eyes went open like this. And then the guy comes to say, yo, what's up, so and so and so? Big dude, yeah. And he said, when you got out? I just got out. Yo, you owe me. He says, what? You owe me. I went to bat for you up in there in Rikers. You owe me. He took him in the back, in the bushes in the back. What did he owe him? Huh? I know how to get down in jail, bro. I heard the stories. And I was like, yo, this nigga, man. What? No. Sick mentalities. These are sick people, bro. Antisociable, sick people. And they create suppressive environment around you. And they create suppressive narrative on the freaking internet. Sick. I try so much. And, as a general, sometimes you got to come down and you got to be around your men. You got to be around your tribe and your people, thinking that there is some hope in there to make them realize, even on the internet, to realize of what's happening. See, people are sitting back. They're going to start cutting a lot of channels. Sorry, I had to shave. I'm sorry. I look busted. In a channel, they're going to start cutting. The rules and regulations, they're going to start cutting a lot of stuff. Those algorithms are going to be tightened up. And you're going to be, if you're using it as a means of income, guess what? You're going to be out of gas. We're going to start tightening shit up. You know what I'm saying? And someone is making money. Someone is making money. It all deals with when you monetize those advertisements. Those advertisement company are making money off of you. And you cannot even advertise in your own channel and make the money. You know what I'm saying? They have the distribution. They have the advertisement. They have the graphics, all of that. And they're making money. You think you're making some money? Oh, well, they give you $1,000, they made $50,000 in sales. You know what I'm saying? That's a big game. You know what I'm saying? And you're just a pawn in it. You're just a pawn in it. Why? Because you don't know how to think like a general. You don't know how to get together. And you don't know, again, how to create that, postulate that life like we did back then. So I come from that school. I'm telling you, Paul Castellano invited our teacher, my mentor, my teacher, to his house to discuss because of the stuff we we go to any neighborhood, Bloods and Crips, whatever, and we came in there. First of all, we send the Black Dragons. You know who the Black Dragons were? No, you don't. And named Black Dragons, dragon, because dragon was one of the symbols of the Moors, and through Europe, everywhere. So you had the Black Dragons go up in there and start working, doing their work, covert work. And then after that, you come in, we came in and we switched over to Ansar. Yo, serious. When you have a true general president, who now is a general, navigating and taking the neighborhood and taking our neighborhood. Don't care if there's some Bloods, Crips, or Latin, we're going to take you out if you're not being beneficial, bro. And we're going to draw the line. You either on this side or that side. See, that's what you're afraid of. You either on this side or that side. Draw a line. Here's a line. Step on this side if you want to get with this. Or not, stay on that side and be out. Any neighborhood will take. Any neighborhood. I could flood the damn internet, okay, with so much narratives and content and brothers and sisters coming up on the internet to certain internet community, and that's what they're afraid of. And bro, shut you down in a minute. You won't expose your antisociable ways. Expose. You won't know where to stick your head at. Your head, you'll be walking with your head on swirl. You ever heard that? The brother that walks with his head on swirl. He done so much in antisocial that he got to walk like this. Why is he looking at me like that? Is he going to come after me? He got a gun? I knew guys like that. Walking in the neighborhood with their head on swirl. They done so much garbage. You know what I'm saying? They shitted on so many people in garbage. Now they got to walk with their head on swirl. Me, I can walk anywhere in the hood and I'm not on swirl. I haven't harmed nobody and nobody is going to try to harm me. Your antisociable weirdos are not going to try to harm me because being social and being correct, right, is much powerful. That's what I don't understand about these antisociable weirdos out here. Destroying neighborhoods, destroying the communities on the internet, destroying everything around. I don't get it because it's more powerful to be right than to be on the wrong side. It's more powerful to be positive. Position yourself instead of negating yourself. You see, you ought to use negate yourself or I hear you, Bobby. You only negate yourself when you have to step back from things. But all the time you have to position yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's called retreat. See, you got to think like general, knowing when to retreat and when to advance. In the streets ain't no freaking walls. It's a little battles. The war is being fought at a very high involvement, a high stage than what you're privy to. Trust me. You're not privy to it. You're just a little pawn out here in the streets. Your blood, crib, whatever gang, the wolves and the truth. You're just little pawns. That's little battles you're having. But the real war, that's at another stage. That's on another chessboard. That's another stage. You're not privy to that. You cannot rock that way because you're not a general. When you start learning certain things, you become captains and then lieutenant, and you go on and become generals, man. That's right, Bondo. Look at that. Look at what my brother said. I've done some load of shit. Was it somebody? You would never hear me brag or to promote it. Me and my family got shows on Gangland. Look at that. Shows on Gangland and him and his family. But you don't see him out here. If you're going to use it as a teaching tool, by all means, but you don't see him glorifying this shit. Yeah, I'm Latin King. We get down like this. Yeah, I'm Zulu. We get down like this. I'm from the street. Yeah, I get down like, no. On the internet, and then cursing at each other or playing these games like these damn trolls. I know the same people that's in those communities are the same people that's trolling. I did a presentation on this brother's page, and guess what? We got bombarded so much, and that shit went down. You know why? I spoke truth, research, and showed it, and spoke truth. And you see, they did not know. I revealed it to them. They did not know of my past history. I'm being raised up in the Boogie Down Bronx, 170th Street and Shakespeare Avenue, El Grand Highway, and being raised up in there and going around all parts of New York, Fox Street, going to Vice Street, going to Hunts Point, in these areas, man. Jackson Avenue, Jackson, the projects over there. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See? So if you're gonna again mentor, teach, and with your family and on, and then those innocent ones in the community that you see that reaches out to you and give you the respect. Don Floyd. You know who I'm talking about? Don Floyd. You know what I'm saying? When you have that acknowledgement. But these weirdos, antisocial people don't have that. You know? It's cool that some people call me Theo this, Theo that. Because they acknowledge Theo. But I'm 60 years old. I'm a don. I'm a general. You better acknowledge that. I have to wear that badge. I have to wear that badge because you have to demonstrate something that you see morals and codes and order in things. Order in things as a people. We have been divided and conquered. We have to now get back to our culture, cultivate our very cultivate our condition, cultivate it. Thank you, Bondo. Cultivate this condition, cultivate this habitat, our economics. By doing detrimental stuff, antisocial stuff, is not going to cultivate your habitat or your environment as a people, as a tribe, as a nation, and as humanity. So that's why I shout out Alberto. Let me acknowledge people here. Alberto Perez, thank you for watching. Again, Magic Do Go is watching. Thank you very much. William Rogers, and again, Melanie Maldonado Diaz, thank you. And on this side, I got Bondor. I don't know, this Russian or Ukrainian. I don't know who this person is. But hey, I'm sure that there's hoods everywhere you go in the world. But again, antisociable people, man, I call them weirdos, freaking weirdos. Even in my, and I'll be honest with you, even in my own family, you know what I'm saying? I'm very proud of my children that they're not like that. They have that balancement. Again, it's how we treat our young ones and how we raise them up. You know what I'm saying? So enough of this weird stuff, man. Enough of this weirdo stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when people, when you cut from a different cloth, you know what I'm saying? I'm cut from a cloth that people know that they can wear that cloth, which is the cloak, the cloth. We're cut from that cloth, man. I got my cloth right there. I can wear it. Sometimes you see me with the head wrap, and I can wear it as a cloth and get into my spirituality. That's my culture. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I could put on my military outfit. Not the United States. I'm talking about military when I talk about our sense of military. That people will see like, oh, that's street. No, it's not street. It birthed from the streets, but it gained certain notoriety. It gained certain positions in life that we have. It's genetic in us. It's genetics. So, like I said, I bet there's no such thing as good and bad. Well, yeah, if you are the type of person that resonate, like the sacred wisdom of Tahuti says, if you resonate in that ahad, in that middle, not in that middle, I hate to use that word middle, and that resonate in that absolute paradigm. You got good and bad. You got +1, -1. What's in the center? When you center yourself, then that's not good and bad. But there's antisociable and there's sociable people. We see it through the effects. Good and bad, you see the effects, the outcome of that. When you have good reaction, good actions, and always remember this, I'll put it up. Remember this, because this is one of our signs. And we have to be very careful of that. Right here. See that? You see? Let's say that the good part is the black part. In that black part, there's a dot of white part, which is bad. I'm just using that. I just switch things around, but don't take it personally or anything. Then you have the white part, and in that white part, there's a dot of black. You see that? That's perfectly balanced. That's Tai Chi. That's perfectly balanced. Second, when you operate there, then you understand. So good and bad exist, though. You know what I'm saying? Because the effects exist. But when you operate and you totally center and balance, then it doesn't. Then you don't resonate like that. Then of course you can say good and bad doesn't exist because the center exists. See, and they subsist. They subsist. There's a difference between something that exists and something that subsists. Something that exists, as I say, the English language is very confusing. We got to be very careful. That's why it's good to study semantics. It's good to study metaphors, how metaphors work. You know, these linguistics methods is important because the more you get to learn that, the more you get to reason. You know what I'm saying? Because it deals with speech and it deals with thinking, your auditory cortex. It's all connected. So when we say, I'm sorry, I just had to upload. I get my mind just go upload. Just give me a second. I get to that. So we're speaking about good and evil that it has. Subsist and it exists. When something exists, right? It's something that is tangible. Something that you could either hold in your hands. It's tangible. Look up the word tangible. Okay? Or do I need to do it here? Tangible. Something that you can hold in your hand. It exists. Or you can see it. You can sense it with your physical senses. Your touch sense. It's mainly your touch sense. It becomes tangible. That's when something exists, right? When something subsists as an emerged existence, it's intangible, but it's real. You sense it with, again, the sense of ideas and concepts, your mental sense. You have your transcendental sense, you have a mental sense. Then you have a submerged sense, but that's different. I'll go into that some other time. But when something subsists, it exists as ideas and concepts. Love, when you say love, all good and evil subsists. Those are concepts and ideas. How do they become tangible? When an action is taking place. You know love when you actually feel and hug a person and I love you, right? It's an idea and concept, but it becomes validated, it becomes solidified when a touch happens. Same thing with good and bad. There are concepts and ideas that subsist, but when you see the outcome of it, antisociable people, you see the outcome. So I'm dealing with subsisting ideas and concepts that you can see the outcome, the effects from the cause and effect. It's a difference. See that? That's a difference. That's why we have to be very, very careful what we say. And I'm speaking to Alberto Perez. Because now that's another level. You know what I'm saying? Of existence and subsisting. Look up the word subsisting. This is taught at a university level. And no, not to discredit anybody, and not to say that everything in the university is taught is true or anything. But these are when you concepts and ideas, when you have philosophers, psychologists, philosophers getting together and discussing this ideas and concept and making you aware, conscious of a language that exists, that we use to communicate. So in the English language, you have the concept of what exists and what subsists when you deal with it at another level. See? At another level. So I'm just here to share that. Again, I've learned a lot of this from college. We had those classes. And you know what I'm saying? I learned it. What class? I think it was a psychology class. psychology. It could have been. I forgot. I took courses. Yeah, scholarship at New York University. I went to New York University. I was in the school of CNAP, which is the School of Education, Arts, and Nursing Profession. I was in that school. I was in the arts profession college in New York University, down there in the village. But there were times where, because of my major was music technology, music theater, that was my major. But still, the requirements, anybody that goes to university know this, there are certain requirements you have to take. You have to take communication as a requirement, English is a requirement, writing you have to take certain courses as a requirement. Now, some courses, you have to take it at NYU, especially when they deal with your major and they deal with requirements that are very, very important, like English and stuff like that. They want you to take it at New York University. But now classes like psychology, and I took also Afro-Caribbean studies, I took that, what they call non-matriculate. I was matriculated in NYU, but I was able to go to Lehman College non-matriculate courses. That means courses that are not in my major. See, anybody that knows this, that's here, that knows how the university system works. So I can go to another college and take a non-matriculate course. That means it is not my major. I'm not a psychology major, but it's one of the requirements, electives, one of the requirements that I checked off to say, because there's certain courses that are open up for requirements, electives. I took that non-matriculate, which means that as I took that course in Lehman College, I still got credit. The 4 credits that you get for each class, I took that I got credit at NYU, because they understood that at NYU, my psychology course was a psychology course as a psychologist would take, was difficult. It was so difficult and so painstaking, because you had to do your regular class, the work in the class. You had to do lab work, psychology lab work, like surveys. You get around, you discuss things, and you do surveys, or you survey other people, other students. That's the lab. Then you had a seminar where you had speakers, psychologists come in and speak on a big auditorium, and you had to take notes. Sometimes I had to record it, boop, and then just sit in the back and record that. You know what I'm saying? So one course dealt with, again, class. So that was a psychology. I was a psychology major. So my counselor said, you'll take it non-matriculate. I said, what? I said, what do you mean? He said, you could take it in another school that is not that extensive. When you deal with an Ivy League school like in New York University or Harvard or Yale, when you deal with those schools, their courses are so expensive. But people pay a lot of money. They're going to want to get the best of the best in those universities. My mother graduated from Fordham University. She could tell you the same thing. So it's very, very different. You know what I'm saying? So when you take the course, and that's where in one of those non-matriculate courses, we started discussing, because the teacher, I spoke to him, we started, it was a Spanish guy, and we started talking, and he said, oh, so you're that NYU student that's coming here and you take a non-matriculate? I said, yeah. He says, well, here, let's discuss this, being that, obviously you must know that I was intelligent when I wasn't. I was just a good student. You know what I'm saying? So we discussed that. And then that's when he brought up the concept. I guess he was saying, yo, check this out. You look what the existing and subsisting. Not to get too much away from the conversation. Existing and non-existing. Let me look at the comments, see if anybody has any questions. Congrats, Silos. Oh, thank you, Bondo. Yeah, it's proud to be. Again, the school that had the most influence on me, right, was the University of Truth, was the Ansarullah University of Truth. And it was an actual university. It was an embassy, and it was a university. Because when you look at a university, you have different schools in it. So we had passion, we had music school in there, we had language, Arabic school, you had Quranic, you had history, you had different sections in the university. And the reason why that the Dr. York or Panaba Yananin or Ellen Mamisa at that time constructed it like that was because we started getting a lot of college students. The guy that I used to bunk with, he was in my same bait. He was a pre-law student. Yeah, he had to. He was a pre-law student, and he was good. So the bait that I was, at one time, they started moving people around depending on what qualification, what they were showing. So in that bait, I think it was what is it? Well, it wasn't Hart Street. No, I think it was Hart, not Lawton, not 55 Lawton. I don't remember the name of the building, but they moved us to this building, this house. They moved us there as a dorm, and there was a bunch of students in there. You know, so he wanted it, that created AEO, Ancient Egyptian Order, because you know when you go to a university, they always pledging Greek. Theta, I'm a theta, this all Greek pledges, Greek, because Greek is the institution that all this learning institution came out of, right? Wow, it's crazy. So to pledge AEO, because that ancient Egyptian order was also sort of like a vein out of the Greek, but an ancient Kemet. You know what I'm saying? People, we don't want to go too much into that discussion, how ancient Kemet was also a Greek, was influenced by Greek at some time. And there's a lot of Kemetians that don't want to accept it, and they argue that point. But that's for another conversation. You know what I'm saying? I leave it up to those that are involved in that shit. But the fact is that in certain universities, you pledge Greek pledges, Greek letters pledging. In the Ansarullah University, we pledge AEO. That came later on, but it was part of the whole university structure. So now I'm in the University of Life, University of Truth, University of Life, a one verse of life. And that is, I'll go into that some other time. You know what I'm saying? But, despite of what you believe and whatever's going on and the judicial system or political or anything like that, the fact is that we lived a certain lifestyle. And again, I haven't seen any blood, Crib, Lion King. I haven't seen them do this. No. The Nation of Islam was about the only one that was non-federal funded, non-government funded that formed an institution like that. And I think years back, Noble Ali tried to do the same thing. You see, Noble Ali, Elijah Muhammad, all the way into Dr. York. But I didn't see none other people do this. None. They got this guy, Umar Johnson, still trying to start a school, but he doesn't have a community around the school. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough, man. You're fake. And I'm only saying that because so that you can realize something and get for real. When you realize who this man really is, what he really has to offer, and who he really is, it might be too late. We'll be out of here. Might be too late. I'm telling you. And I'm not the type to propagate, promote certain things, but I'm gonna let you know one thing. Yeah, not the level. Yeah, not even close, Brown, y'all. Not even close. Not at the level that this man. And I don't only say this, man. I say we, my elders and myself, not at the level that we were able to do it. And we were warriors. One time, they had the cops run a sort of like operation or an exercise around the community, and we all came out, and you see all these white guys in white jalabi on white robes out, and we stood there like, yo. What? Come with it. Come with it. I don't see. Like I'm saying, I don't see it. So you have a lot of people throw shots. They're always throwing shots at this man, throwing shots at the students, elders. But they don't know. They never lived the life. And talking about living the life, we was Again, Cosa Nostra. You know, when the Prime Minister of Sudan, because the Ansarullah University and community was like also an embassy that was linked up to the Ansarullah in Sudan. That came under the vein of Ahmed Mahdi, who liberated the whole Sudan in 1870, in the 1800s. Liberated warriors, Ansars, warriors, liberated Sudan. So that family held a seat in Sudan, right? Held that seat all the way into the Prime Minister, Saeed Sadiq, one of the elders, may rest in power, Saeed Sadiq. And when he came from Sudan over, he was speaking at the General Assembly in the United Nations. And then after that, he came straight to Bushwick. What the hell is a prime minister who's speaking at the General Assembly, United Nations in Midtown? When he's finished, he comes all the way to Brooklyn, to where we at. And I was one of the first brother that greeted him. Salam, assalamu alaikum, Saeed Sadiq. Salaam alaikum. Accepted because I was at the fruit stand and he came into under the tent first. I was one of the first brothers to greet that man. He looked at me, bro, and the big smile. Salami. Wa alaikum assalam. And man, we just connected. We locked in. It was like, yo, big smile on my face and big smile on his face. He was looking at my nose, looking at my features, says, wow. He looked back at Ali Mamisa, Dr. Young, like, wow, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what was said. All I know is that Dr. Young used to tell a lot of the sisters and our brothers about things about me that was, they used to smile at me like, wow, man, he says good things about you. And I'm not, let me not pat myself like that, man. That's not really important right here, right now. But the thing is this. We had a connection with Sudan in the hood. He was safe to come into the hood and be amongst us because we had already established ourselves. Okay? And then he sent, and this is what I'm getting at, he sent teachers from Sudan all over the middle. He sent teachers to Bushwick to teach, pay for their boarding, their lodging, their food and everything, and pay their salaries. And these teachers used to teach our young children at the school that we built. One of those teachers, Arabic, a Moroccan lady, used to love coming over and buying fruits when she was on her way home or to where she was lodging at. And she'll buy fruits and we would speak. And she would, give me Moroccan Arabic words to learn about the fruits. She was a teacher from Morocco that was brought back to that Sadiq sent her here to teach in the States. And this is what I meant to say. When all of that was done and Saeed left, whatever, Ali Mamisa or Dr. Young had a set of green pins that said Ahlul Bayt. And he walked around looking at brothers. And he'll look at you, he'll look at the brother, and he'll flip one over to you. And you're like, oh, green pin. And you put that pin on, Ahlul Bayt. You know what that means? Family of the house. I got one of those pins. I didn't like to worry that much because brothers, were jealous. Who are you? Why you got, what's that pin for? Ahlul Bayt. Family of the house. What house? You see? Cosa Nostra. The house. Yeah. Again, I'm a general. Wish I had my pin now, but I will display it. And you'll be like, yo, what the? Very rare. No one had it. Very few brothers had that. In the land, there were 9 brothers that while he was doing the possession of Osiris, that he bowed down to. I wasn't there. But brothers would tell me, yo, I wish you was there. He definitely would have bowed down to you. And because he created the drum ceremony, because we were always playing drums in Bushwick, right there in the fruit stand. The one brother, Abdul Fattah, rest in power, used to come, and we used to bring congas, and we used to jam out. And Dr. Yoke used to come and jam with us in underneath the tent, and he'll jam with us. So these experiences, you know what I'm saying? So what qualifies me? Hey, listen, I don't have to have the medals at present day. I don't have to regale anything. It's what we say. What we say. Anybody could come on here. I'm vulnerable. You can come on. If you got me on Facebook, you can messenger me and we can have a discussion. I can put it on here. You can have a discussion live on here. You can get on here. I could, you know, if you say, yo, send me the link. I want to talk, speak to you. If you want to challenge and test me out, by all means, do it. Do it. I'm cut from that cloth. You know the battles, I tell you, 41 years in the street, you know the battles that I had to have with the Black Israelites, that camp, with the Sunni Muslims, that camp, with the 5%ers, I taught a lot of them, that camp, Latin Kings, I taught a lot of them about their own freaking history that they didn't even know. No, this is experiences, bro. Experiences. And I'm one of many. And on here, you got brothers and sisters in here that have an amount of experience, and I treasure that. And I know real recognize real, like they say, right? Real recognize real. But a lot of what's going on is fake antisociable, recognizing antisociable, and getting on this freaking internet and doing things. And I don't care. I don't need to go on to these. I only go to certain channels because again, I'm trying to support my brothers. I go on these channels and they've been kind of respectful to me. But because you're respectful to me doesn't mean that you're respectful to humanity. That just might be an individual thing, right? So understand the content and be careful of it. You know what I'm saying? That shit that you hear sound cap, that shit out there is not beneficial for us as a people. It's not going to help you, even in the internet community, the metaverse. It's not going to help you. They're going to look at you, and then when they're ready to, I'm sure that brother got his channel taken down a couple of times. And no shout out to my other brothers that get their channel shout out, because there's some channels here that are very good. Like I like Black Magic 363, Brother Rich, and I love his content. And he has a lot of views, more views than these antisociable people. Awesome channel. I learned a lot in that channel. And the brothers is on his path and his path alone. And you don't see him talking nothing discrediting, nothing submersive about the master teacher like Noah Ali or those paradigms of the Native American. He's about questioning. You know? Now, when you deal with other channels like Sonetta channel, that's about debates. Sometimes I can handle it. And I'm a moderator on it. Sometimes I can handle it. I look out for that brother. But that brother, sometimes I can see something in him good. At the same time, I'm very careful of the content that he throws out there, because he's trying to appeal to certain people, certain demographics. He's trying to appeal to certain demographics, and that could be dangerous. See, that's a business tactic. You appeal to certain demographics, okay? A particular demographic, but then there's a humanity demographics. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, I've done presentation on there. Very good. I've done presentation on many, many platforms that has gotten many, many views. The only presentation I've done that has gotten not much in views has been the one that I did on my brother Latin Payne page, because he got bombarded. Because then again, I have to speak to the brother and tell him, bro, you're promoting, you're putting yourself out there, and you're getting a lot of backlash and a lot of stuff out there. But sometimes you don't have to, you know, he does it sometimes. He does get over it, and he does blast them right back, man. My brother blasts him right back and everything. But I got people that tell me you shouldn't be on those channels or whatever. Listen, you can't tell a general how to do his job, okay? Don't tell a general how to do his job, because there's things that you're not privy to. I can take it from some of my great acquaintances that have been supporters, great acquaintance. Somebody like Bond Dog go tell me like, yo, CeeLos, watch out for this, that, you shouldn't, I could take it from that. I will evaluate it. And then if my evaluation matches what they're telling me, then, and by all means, and I know brothers by the way what they say, that they got good hearts. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to dealing with myself. But all in all, you can't really tell a general what to do. You can't. It's protocol. And the reason that, sometimes the general will come down and see, well, what men? What do you need? What's going on? We had at that time, Ali Mamisa would come down. We would have family meetings underneath the tent. Let's air out some things. Let's see what's going on. What do you need? Are you requesting anything? What do you need to make your job more efficient, and sufficient? What do you need? Sometimes the general has to come down. So sometimes we got to come down and be like, yo, on this internet shit, got to be like, yo, what do you need? What, to make you more sufficient in your, what can I share to make you more sufficient in your family and your tribe and your internet community? The camaraderie, together, what do you need? And then I'm gonna say, well, watch out. You're destroying yourselves. And you're trying to take innocent people with you. You're destroying yourself and taking innocent people with you. So there's this channel that I go on, and the brother sometimes he wrestles with certain things. People accuse him of being a junkie, and he's high, and you see him. I kind of like sit back and like, huh. And sometimes I get on there and I support him. I get on a co-host with him and give him the support or whatever. Which the other day he sunned me, bro. And I'm like, yo, I was ready to go in on him. But I understood where he was coming from. He wanted to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody. Because again, and that's a learning thing for me of a personality and character. It's not only him, it's many of us in our internet community, also in the streets. This is the way they are. So you have to be tolerant of people's differences. I don't care if you come on live and you start take some drugs and start doing all of that. I don't care about any of that. You know what I'm saying? You exposing yourself. That's you. I have to be tolerant of that. But the times that you are awake and you're just coming on and you're bringing content, you know what I'm saying, and entertainment, edutainment and entertainment, great. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes something could be so detrimental and you just wait on it, and then it will shift to something that's beneficial in the long run. But when it's too detrimental and it has no, you know what? The person is going to give up themselves. Either the channel going to be taken away or they themselves are just going to. I don't understand antisociable people. I don't understand these some weirdos out here that they go out and they do these things. That's exhausting. Don't you think that's exhausting? To come on a block and go on your block and create havoc on your block, right? Selling drugs out in the open around women and children when that should be done in the alley, but you want to come out, you want to be instrumental, you want to rob, and you say that's that exhausting, man. Again, I was exhausting for me when coming out here trying to hustle this money to get some food or to pay rent or this and that. Sometimes you didn't even pay the rent. You know what I'm saying? You got to depend your woman's welfare check and pay the damn rent. You know what I'm saying? And her lying to these people saying, oh, he doesn't live with me. But meanwhile, he does live with you. You know what I'm saying? That's exhausting, man, to live your life like that. So that's how I tell all my Boricuas. I tell all my people. I don't care. I tell humanity. That's exhausting to be that antisociable personality. I don't get it. It's very exhausting to be the drug dealer on the block. For one, you gotta watch your product. Nobody tapping your product. You gotta go out there and get your product is one. You gotta watch out that you don't get clamped. Either somebody robs you or the cops come and rob you. But that's what they're doing. They're robbing your ass. And damn, I need to shave, man. Sorry about it. And that's exhausting. Then you got to watch, make sure nobody come on your block, and that they don't take your customers. And that's exhausting, man. You go out now. You got to be neck on swirl, watching your product. If you got to run on watching, you don't tap the shit. Make sure your money is correct. You got to collect money. Yo, that's exhausting. Then you got to watch Popo. You know what I'm saying? Oh, man. Then you got to watch the snitches. That's exhausting. That's how I don't understand antisociable people in these neighborhoods. I was there and I was like, yo, this is exhausting. Man, how can you live your life like that and then promote it and be happy about that shit? How can you be happy about that and then promote it? Jail is exhausting. You get clamped up, you go to jail, you got to watch your back, this and that. You got to watch this person. You got to watch this dude's looking at you as a piece of meat. You got to watch this. You got to watch the CO shaming you. You got to watch, what? You got to make sure, you got to watch that this guy don't turn you into a fucking servant and you got to now wash his underwears. You got to, oh man, yo, I couldn't survive in there. I'll be dead. Hell no, not me. Pa carajo con eso. That's what I'm saying. It's exhausting to be this antisociable person. Antisocial person. That's exhausting, brother. There's something better on the other side of the fence. There's something better on the other side of the fence, man. You don't have to follow that same vein, being so disgruntled, being so, bro, there's some other content you can do on YouTube, on StreamYard. There's some other content you can do that can pay you really good. You just got to find it. And then if you're going to use your experience, make sure that it's mentoring and teaching. But this beef back and forth and that, and a lot of times, again, conflict is the third person, is because they got you. Them trolls or those antisociable persons or those apps, you know what I'm saying? Those, they got you. You know what I'm saying? So, to you, weirdos, I'm a general. I see where you're coming from. Okay? This is not going to happen here. No. I'm going to expose it. And that's what I do, is expose it. I'm exposing that. Enough is enough. You fake ass. Enough is enough for that bull crap. Learn how to support channels that are showing you something. You know, even on Facebook. Learn how to support. What's up, Paige Quintana? Peace, peace. What's up, cuz? Peace. Ajamuniche. Nice. So, learn how to support other content. All right? Learn how to support other content that is going to be beneficial to you and is going to uplift you and is going to uplift humanity. Don't get stuck on this little antisociable bull crap, because I'm telling you, it's exhausting. It's exhausting. I went in it. I listened to see what are what's going on here, man. Especially amongst Boricuas. Oh man, terrible. And they think that, and this is how, if you conduct yourself like that on the internet, then you're the same people that conduct themselves like that in the street. I see the corners being filled with you. And because I've been there, I saw it in the corner. And these guys, you know what I'm saying, sneaking out, stealing, robbing people, selling drugs, getting drunk in the street and creating chaos and havoc. That's exhausting. And now I'm passing over to the damn internet. Exhausting. And this is what I experienced on the internet. I'm like, yo, this shit is exhausting. Sometimes I just gotta turn it on. Like, yo, I ain't with this. I ain't with it. And even with some debate, if the debates are going to be informative, yes. But when they start into that whole, oh, yes, about a waste of life. When they start with that, going back and forth, and ad hominem, ad hominem, when you deal with logical fallacy, which is something else that I had to study in writing, and I studied at NYU. Ad hominem, when people are having a discussion with you, and all they do is throw out your past, and they slander, like Bonda said, they slander, they throw out their past, things and things that has nothing to do with the discussion. For instance, if we were here discussing the Bible, we discuss the Bible. But then when you come in and you start bringing, but you sold drugs before, you're in prison before, what makes you an example? You know what I'm saying? That's ad hominem. You're not looking at the conversation, and you're not looking at the character, personality of the person. Ad hominem. Oh, you did this, you did that, you did that. We all use ad hominem when it's for our benefits. But when you use it, when you're just having a discussion with somebody, that's when it becomes ingenuine. That's pseudo. That's another word that you hear thrown around. Pseudo. Pseudo, you look it up, is a derogatory statement. You don't tell a person that has a false prosthetic arm that he has a pseudo arm. That's an insult. That's an insult. I don't care how true you think it is. That's derogatory statement. You don't do that. Oh, he's got pseudoscience. That means ingenuine and false science. There is no false science, because science deals with sensia. It's just an imbalanced science, but that's not pseudo. See, that's a word that was, I think it's Greek, a Latin Greek, that was implanted, again, by antisocial. You see, you have antisociable people, right? Creating narratives out here, and it makes it into the dictionary. For instance, dope. That shit is dope. You trying to make something dope good? You see how that got into the language? That's linguistics. So you have antisociable people that does that. That's part of it. And then it spreads, it becomes a lingo, and next thing you know, it makes its way into dictionaries. Pseudo is one of those words. Pseudo is one of those words. So, man, to all the youth out there, man, let me tell you something. It's exhausting to try to think that you are a gangster, a fake gangster, a real gangster, the real mob, right? And they use that derogatory. But these are men of honor, right? This is a custom that goes all the way back to the Berbers. It goes back into North Africa, made into the Emirate of Sicily. Because again, Sicilians, and I got Sicilian in my family. I have to say, Pacho, I got Sicilians in my family. I have Sicilian. And I love my titi. Morella, I love you. Sicilians are Berbers. If you look at the history of Sicily, and I just want to say that the history of Sicily is called the Emirate of Sicilia. That was all Berber. Same thing with Andalusia, was Spain and Portugal, and Sicily, and the southern part of Italy was known as the Emirate, was an Islamic Emirate because of the Berbers who were Arabized. They weren't Arabs, they were Berbers coming from North Africa, North African tribes that separated when the Sahara went desert and they went up into Morocco, Mauritania, Tunisia, and those areas. They migrated into Spain and Portugal and also into Italy, southern part of Italy and Sicily. That part was called Emirate of Sicilia. Okay? Sicily. These are Berber people. That lifestyle was what they call the mustache people, what they call the mobsters, was men of honor, were men that live by morals and principles, police their neighborhoods, police their community, because there was a rift, you know what I'm saying, with the Romans, the Romans coming down, you know, the Gauls and the Aragon, the Germans coming down, Germans mixing in with these Berbers. And that's how you get all the light eyes and light hair and stuff like that. Same thing in Spain. Same thing in Spain. It happened in Spain and Portugal. You know what I'm saying? But the core of it is Berbers. And this was a lifestyle. They had to protect themselves. They had to protect their market. They had to protect their women and children. You know? So the lifestyle that they lived was men of honor. I love the story of Carlo Gambino when this podcast that I watched called Value Entertainment, something like that, and he had on there John Arate, who was actually Albanian, but he worked with Gotti. Someone told the story, I forgot who it was. No, it was the guy that played in The Godfather, who was an actual wise guy, but he played the part of The Godfather, Carlo, that beat up his sister, Carlo. That actor right there, forgot his name, wrote a book. He was in The Godfather. Matter of fact, he got the role in The Godfather because when they brought the script over to, I believe, Colombo, he approved of the script. He took certain things out of the script. And that actor was connected to what's Colombo? I forgot his first name. Colombo. He was the Colombo family. He was as a child growing up, and he was well connected with the Colombo. And so they gave him a part in the movie, and he played Carlo in the movie, right? He tells the story of how he went in with a mistress, one of his girlfriends, to a restaurant, and Carlo Gambino came into the restaurant and gave him a look. You know, when the dong, like Carlo Gambino walks in the restaurant, everybody, you acknowledge him, but you don't acknowledge him out openly because you don't want everybody to know. He's protected, right? He said simply nodded the head to acknowledge that he's here. Same thing we did with Patna Bayanana. You don't say, oh, that's a master teacher. No, it's a simple acceptance, or not acceptance, right? So Carlo Gambino is sitting there in that restaurant with some of his capos and lieutenants and stuff. And this actor is in the restaurant, and now they know that he is married, but he's with his mistress in that restaurant. And Carlo Gambino goes over and tell one of the other capos to go over to this guy and tell him, hey, do you bring your wife to this restaurant? And he made a mistake. He said, yeah, time. So you bring your wife to this restaurant, and now you're here with your mistress. How does it feel for your wife? Check this out. Check out the morals of the story. How does it feel for these people that might know and might see you here with your wife, and now they see you with your mistress? And I'm here, and I know your wife. Carlo Gambino's here. The Don knows your wife. You know what I'm saying? Because they know each other. These are wise men. They know, these are wise, what they call wise guys. And they know at that level. And he said, how does that look? Do me a favor. Take your mistress. Go find another way. Don't do that. Because how would that look to Carlo Gambino? Where's the honor in that? Something simple as that. You see that? These were men of honor. Men of honor. They had to take care of certain stuff their way, their things, but that was amongst the family, and that's the same way it is with Berbers. And that system. And that's the morals and codes of the streets. That comes from our lifestyle. That's genetic morals and codes. How does it feel? How are you going to take something simple as that? You have your mistress, okay, do what you do, okay, fine. But this is your wife, and you take her to the same restaurant, and then you bring your mistress in another time. How does that look? That's the reason why Paul Castellano got a lot of slack, and that's the reason why, one of the reasons why it escalated to the point where he got rubbed out, because he was a Colombian servant in his house, and all the wise guys and everybody was talking about it like, bro, he's got his mistress living in his house with his wife at that mansion. He's screwing his servant, and that's his mistress now, and she's running around like she got that juice in a Cadillac. She's running around and she got the juice. How does the wife feel? Paul Castellano made a big mistake, and that mistake cost him his life because that escalated. Oh, how can we trust this man with business? How can look what he's doing to his wife? All that escalated. You see, those are morals and codes. Men of honor. So when you look at this, and you look at this system, which is a genetic system, it comes from Berbers. It comes all the way back into the Ma Federation. This is the way you handle morals and codes, and to make sure that it's beneficial. But you got these weirdos that go against that. Antisociable people that goes about it. They don't see the benefit that it has as a whole. The benefit that it has in the whole. They're antisociable. They're weirdos. That's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting to have your mistress take it to a restaurant. You got to hide. Make sure that people that your wife don't. That's exhausting. Don't you think so? I mean, you do what you do. Yeah, I'm not saying that men don't do it and women, you do what you do. But yo, you got to a point that you honor has to be respected. Honor has to be taken accounted for. And in this day and time, even some women and society don't honor the honorable ones. You see? I'm a Ma's son, a master Ma's son, right? So I have a title known as Noble Honorable Carlos Hernandez Jr. Pacho. Noble, honorable, honor, because I have to live by morals and codes that are in the Masonic Freemasonry rite of passage. You have to live by those codes. There are interviews that you got to go through, and your character personality is on stage, is exposed, and you have answered certain questions a certain way. Morals and codes in Freemasonry. You know? Same thing with Ansarullah. Certain morals and codes you got to have as to be an Ansar. And then when you get to your age, you call a Sheikh at 52. But when you get to older than the Sheikh, 60, then you a Nabab. Nabab. We have Nabab Ishmael. He's a Nabab because he's have wisdom, Nabab. Now, Pa Nabab is the wise, the wisdom. It's different than Nabab is wise one. See? So they know me as Nabab Kefra Shuasap in that school of thought. Nabab Kefra Shuasap. Wisdom. What's that, Steve? Again, being honored. That's what you say, Don. And in Sicily, Don Francesco, Don Vito. And same thing, you go to Puerto Rico, in the Caribbean, Don Pablo, Doña Maria, Don Pablo. You walk in the street, you have the right, that title. You have the right to walk in the street. The youth in Puerto Rico, they used to always see you. Don Pablo, ¿Cómo está, don Pachol? Doña María, necesita algo. You need anything. Same thing in Sicily. Don Vito, what do you need? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás tú? ¿Cómo stai? ¿Cómo stai, Don Vito? Okay, in Italian. Okay? In Spanish. ¿Cómo tú estás, Don Pablo? ¿Cómo está, Don V? ¿Cómo está? That's respect. But you don't see that no more in the streets. You don't see that. You see, we put in a suppressive environment, anti-sociable system had created this suppressive environment that we lost our cultural ways. We lost our cultural ways. That respect. We have to elevate our elders. Respect, bro. You have to elevate your elders because that's the wisdom. They're the one that you're gonna obtain knowledge because they know have the what they know what's right and wrong in the history of things. Even if they committed a lot of wrong things, later on in years they come to realize and says, "Damn, that was wrong what I did. Now I know the difference between what's right and wrong in the history of that particular thing." That's wisdom. And out of that wisdom, you gain knowledge. So the youth can gain knowledge from that. So you share that. It's okay in the internet. Yo, I made these mistakes. I did this and this and that. But at the end of it, bring it on full circle. You don't have to be like this. You know, like I tell you, buddy, it's exhausting being that fake gangster, that pseudo gangster. Now I could use that derogatory term here. Pseudo gangsters. The internet are filled with pseudo gangsters because they're not men of honor. They running around this internet, YouTube, throwing shots. They're running around and they're gonna get this and they're messing around with a dome in general. And step up to me in person. Hey, you're gonna get the same thing. Not because I'm on the internet, I'm talking this shit. In person, people could tell you. In person, I'm like that too. I've been in the streets. I got scars. I got battle scars too, bro. I got battle scars, bro. Can't hardly say. I got battle scars. Look. I think it's on this side. Yeah, this side. I got battle scars, y'all. This ain't no game. I got battle scars out there. Okay? I can tell you, it's exhausting, bro. It's exhausting to try to, and on the internet, it's exhausting. You always got to come on the internet and you got to bring this drama and this riff and this, you got to come on here and do that. That's exhausting, bro. They're sitting down actually thinking about this. Oh man, if I do this and I say this and I bring this person up and I say this and I cause this, that's exhausting. You really think about that? That's how I could flow for hours and hours and hours. But that negative, that antisocial narrative cannot flow for hours and hours. It has an expiration point, y'all. Check that out. But when you write and you spitting from the heart and you spitting real talk, you can go for hours and hours. And especially when you're mentoring and teaching, because the mind is constantly learning. You see, I know what I don't know. Yeah, get it? I know that I don't know certain things. So I seek to find that out. Right? That's knowing. That's investigation. That's why I said we got to get away from that. You can agree, you know, you can, you have to know the difference between believing in something and knowing something. You have to know the difference. I don't believe in God. I know God. That's a difference. Well, can you expound on it? Yeah. And I could expound because I did the investigation. So I could take it to many different levels and reach a higher frequency with that. And it's simple. You can do that too. But when you believe in something, You believe in that cart, going to take you to the destination. You got so much belief in your cart, but you never got down from the cart and found out, is their wheel loose? Do I have enough gas? You know what I'm saying? Is this wheel loose? The chassis is up. You don't investigate. And before you take a long trip, what do? You go to the mechanic and you check your car, right? You have to investigate. Same thing with concepts and ideas. You have to investigate. So you can go for investigation, on and on and on and on. Thank you, everyone. Steve Breeze, what's going on, my puppy? What's going on, Steve Breeze? I'm glad you're watching. Paige Quintana, awesome singer, man. Wish we can hear some more singing content from you, bro. Love it, love it. I love people with talent, you know what I'm saying, that able to resonate in that particular energy center. Because that's communication, you know what I'm saying? But then you have other energy centers. and that's all, you know, that's important to me when you know, I'm living my second curve. and excuse me, damn. You're gonna also live your second curve. If you live to be 60 years old, actually your second curve comes in around when you're 50 years old. That's the time that you should be mentoring, teaching, and sharing your wisdom with the youth and those that want it. And not all the youth want it. Those that need it. Something here on the internet is a good platform, advice for me, because I get to share certain things. And because I've done that, I've shared things like this when I was in the street. 41 years when I was at Ansar. No difference. I'm just reliving what I did 41 years ago in 1979, 1980. I'm reliving that. I'm reliving that. That's my second curve. Back then I was fluid intelligence, man. Bro, forget it. I was all over the Bronx. I walked all the way from Brooklyn to the Bronx to Fordham Road. All the way from Brooklyn, Bushwick, all the way to Fordham Road. I walked all the way with books, playing Rumba on the way, with books, teaching, talking to Jehovah's Witnesses, talking. Oh, bro, you kidding me? I once had Jehovah's Witnesses circle around me and ask me questions, and I'm answering the questions and ba ba boo ba ba. It was like a battle. But then I had some of their elders come to me and says, "Gracias, que Dios te acompañe." Okay, que Dios me acompañe. Está bien. Gracias, gracias. Yo veo que tú sabes lo que tú estás hablando. You know what you're speaking about. Because I did the investigation. I was into it. Because also, when you're truthful in yourself, right? And you're a sociable person, that means I'm not looking to cause anybody no harm. I'm not looking to rob anybody. I'm walking the streets selling books. I believe in this cause of creating this this school for children. So I'm out here doing that work. So I'm genuine. You know what I'm saying? That's the year you was born, Damn. That's the year I was propagating in the street, teaching, and I was teaching. Yeah, I had that Messiah, what they call the Messiah complex. Oh yeah. And I was a believer in Jesus Christ because from back then, but then now we know about Isa Messiah. It was religion. But at the same time, it was true Christianity, true religion, true Israelite, true. The core of it is what we were studying. Again, investigation. We was getting to the core of things. So yeah, I had that Messiah complex. I was out there. I was trying to, at the same time, trying out there to save people. At the same time, selling books and bringing back my share, that my offerings back. I was given the tools, the books, the incense and the oils, and bringing back what I needed to bring back, my quota for the day. At that time, in 79, quota was only $25. And then it went up to $50. But you see, we had a system. So I had the experience. I can go to any group. I can stand up on a piece of slack. I can stand up and teach. Just like you see the picture of Jesus Christ teaching. I can do that. I can get on the podium of a church and present. I was with the Science of Living over there in Orlando, Florida, 709 Edgewater. There's a church over there, a Science of Mind, right? To study Ernest Holmes, and I was a caretaker there, and I used to live there, a caretaker, and live there, and I was studying that science of mind. I studied the science of mind, Ernest Holmes, Science for Spiritual Living, and I studied that. Got to a point I was able, becoming a practitioner, I could have got easily on the podium and teach a congregation. Yeah. So I have the experience of sharing with a congregation, and I'm talking about hundreds of people. I've done that with music. I've done that in Full Sail University, speaking about, and this is familiar, I'm speaking about African Ashanti and African, those rhythms coming over and the connection. I've done seminars at Full Sail University in Orlando about that study, that percussion. I'm a percussionist. As I was playing percussion in the streets of New York, I learned, I'm investigating. I want to learn about the history of my instrument and the history of my music. I want to know my story. Not what they tell me. I want to know my story and dig deep in because it's part of who we are and knowing, right? So yeah, it's easy for me to get up on a podium or any platform and do teaching or mentoring, because that's my second curve. But I've been doing that since 79. Since 79. Even when I was in the street doing my antisocial dirt, even when I was in the street in the Bronx, still people knew there was something different about me, and they would ask me questions. Or sometimes they would say like, oh, ese le gusta el libro, ese lee mucho libro. Man, Carlos, you read a lot of books, you know a lot. Papa, you should be a professor. I always got that in the street from drug dealers. But they would like to come to my house and listen to me talk. They would love coming and have me, I'm saying, speak a one-on-one about things that they know. Oh, I didn't know that. Let me look that up. You see, when the mentoring and the sharing is beneficial, when the person tells you, I did not know that. I need to look that up. You just made me aware of something I did not know. That's important. That's the second curve. And trust me, now that you're 40 and 50, to prolong your life, you're gonna live that. That's your responsibility as a don. That's your responsibility, like what Carlos Gambino did. That's your responsibility, is to educate, to share, to mentor. Say, yo. And that's what this is about. So you get a lot. The flag behind me is the flag of Lares. Very interesting story, our story in Lares. I've got to go to Lares. I remember taking a trip when we were young in Puerto Rico, and we went all the way around, and we went to Lares. That's the mountains, bro. The coffee finca, the coffee farms. They grow a lot of coffee out there in Lares. It's mountain. No cars can go up into the mountains of Lares. They had to use Jeeps. Only Jeep, 4-wheel drive Jeeps. It's how we had to get out of the car on the highway, a van, and get and board a Jeep or walk. No way you get to Lares like that. That was the perfect place. El Grito de Lares. Right? They were Masonic. They had also Masonic and genetically linked up with Berbers, because they had a thing like Omerta. They had a thing called liberty or death. Either we're going to be liberated or live our life, or we're going to die. And that was one of the key words in the Grito de Lares. That was given to another, to the government, and that's how they were able to break the code. Because it was El Grito de Lares. El Grito, get it? El Grito was like, dame la L o la M. That means give me the L or the M. That means give me liberty or muerte, death. Same thing in Sicily. Same thing in Sicily. This is genetic. This is the core of our existence. La L or la M. La L or la M. Same thing in Sicily, in the southern part of Italy, and throughout Spain. When you deal with the Berbers. Give me liberty or give me death. If I can't be liberated, then give me death, man. That's it. This was the cry. This is how they got down. You know what I'm saying? This is a code. But that was broken when they had the government get a hold of it. In order for you to enter to those mountains, they'll call out, dame la M. Somebody say, oh, dame la L. Está bien, pasa. When the government got a hold of it, they entered it because they were like, dame la L. O la L. Dame la L. O la M. And they got in. And then, you know, the story will tell you after that. You know? So, we're at here almost at the 2. Damn. I'd say I can go on and on and on and share with you different things. It's Saturday, but I'm not going to do that. I know people got things to do. And appreciate everyone that was able to listen. Italiano, Bondo, Italiano, yes. Southern Italian, Calabrese, our Italian, people don't, you know, like I watch, and Bondo is here. This is another thing that got me upset of the shout out. That's how I got to talk to. It made me sound maybe I got to do a presentation on the idea of Sicily being the Emirate of Sicilia, of being an Islamic emirate first, and how that lifestyle. It's actually a indigenous North African lifestyle. And they don't understand that a lot of Italian brothers and sisters and Sicilians are our family. They're not what you call Caucasians or white. They're not. They're not. They're not known as that. They're not. Even some Irish. It goes even to the Irish. You know what I'm saying? They're not. And so we have to start looking at things as just simply black and white. You know what I'm saying? Black and white. You know? We're all different shades of skin melanin. And we all have melanin because it's the only way to protect the fetus from being born. You know, to have it born. It's just that there's many different stages of melanin. It's different. So yesterday, when they were speaking about JJ having an affair with a white, she was an Italian, Sicilian woman. You can see her features are different. That's not Nordic features she had. That's North African features. Mixed in again with a little Nordic German, you know what I'm saying, the color of hair. You see that mixture in there, but still is our people. How dare you? How dare you disrespect Italians like that and disrespect Sicilians? How dare you? It's our people. I had Sicilians back in the Bronx, used to run around this crew because I was dealing with the Tarantino crew, and around this crew, speak to me about Ansarullah and about the Berber culture. They wanted to know. They were genetically, because they were finding out things and they wanted to know. They wanted to get to the core of where their morals and ethics come from. I had a lot of Sicilian brothers come up to me, want to speak with me about that. They were finding out more and more and more, and we got along great. Of course, you got antisociable everywhere. You got some that's going to say they're white. I'm white. Because, you know, they don't know. How dare you disrespect them, man? You know, I gotta really, I don't know. I gotta really send out something to that brother Sarnetta, and you know, even if you want to listen or not, I don't care. Because lately he really doesn't want to hear my voice. He doesn't want to hear me because he know that I'm gonna come for him from an investigative part, I'm from an investigative mindset. I'm going to come through a historical mindset, from an experience mindset. I dare you. They just don't know. They just don't know. You may not want to call her a sister because of the pheno of a skin color. A sister, she's not a sister, she's African American, but she's a Sicilian woman, and that Sicilian woman is our family. Our bloodline family, the mafia, spread out even to Irish redheads up there in Ireland, people in Ireland, spread out to even to England, blackamoors, the mixture, the mulattoes up there, spread out. Greece, spread out to Spain, Portugal, spread out. I got a cousin married to a Portuguese woman who's darker than a lot of y'all. And she's Portuguese, from Portugal, not from Brazil, from Portugal. Look at the Canary Islands, the Gauche people. You see, you don't investigate, you don't study, so you don't know. But when you come across somebody like me, I'm gonna be like, yo, hold on. I know you're trying to keep your narrative going and your little rah going. You know what I'm saying? But our brothers and sisters really got to get, yo, this is about humanity. And we're connected, man. Our family lineage from the Ma Federation and from that extends all over, even to South America. Yo, we're powerful, bro. Very, very powerful. And we still have queendoms and chiefdoms and queendoms and kingdoms still today that carries the traditions today. Till this day. Panabayanan and Dr. York is one of them, carrying that tradition to this day. Imperial Majesty Kwasambura from the castle in the Congo, Kush, right? The Queen of the South, Kwasambura, Queen of the South, Queen of Sheba. Imperial Majesty is another one, a lineage, another one. You have a few chiefdoms, kingdoms that extends out. But you know what? Those anti-sociable people want to divide and conquer. And the way they divide and conquer you is by taking away your knowledge. Like Abisu Campos said, you arm the youth with knowledge, and so that they don't become conquered and enslaved. But we're conquered people and enslaved. And not conquered, and not by and we do it to ourselves. It's the narrative, it's the character person, it's that particular character personality, that anti-sociable character personality. That's how it rolls. It causes it causes division and separatism. And so that leaks into the internet. It leaks into the good brothers and sisters out here, man. And I'm like, what? Where do you pick that up from? Where do you pick up that suppressive personality from? There must have been some anti-sociable person. Either you were raised by one, and not to discredit anybody, it can happen. But in today's day and time, with the knowledge that we have in today's day and time, man, you need to correct that. Correct yourself or wreck yourself. That's it. Correct yourself or wreck yourself. La L o la M. Libertad o la muerte. Simple. Simple. So we have a lot of work to do here, man. And you know what? Nature's doing it. Natural nature is doing his work. Who's the best? Who's the best of planners? Natural nature. You know what I'm saying? You could put concrete, but sooner or later that concrete is going to crack, and what's going to grow out of that concrete? A stem of greenery, grass. Look at these ancient sites. Look what happens there. Except for Giza. I don't know what's up with the desert. But even in the desert, there's always growing. Something's going to grow. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they're just not showing it. But after a while, you look at concrete, after a while, those creases, those cracks, creases, and you see grass growing out of it. And natural nature always going to preserve itself, always going to come on top. You got places that has been covered up with vines, ancient places and covered with vines. You can't stop it. And that's how we roll. You can't stop us. You can't stop natural nature. You just can't stop it. No. Even if you put acid or whatever you try to put on it, still will grow somewhere else. Try to put an end to me, guess what? Somebody else from me out there in nature is going to give you the same narrative. We're many. You get cut up. The root is so rooted in the natural nature on earth that by you harming that root, you're harming your own self, your own preservation, your own survival, because we're at the root of your own survival and existence and subsistence. We're the root of it. We're the root of it. That's it. You try to chip it off or something, it's going to grow another vine. Roots is the root, and the root is such at the core of the planet, and it's getting its electromagnetic forces from the sun, channels it down into the roots. That's the reason why us Taino, that's the Taino people always call on Juca. Who? Juca. The Juca is those vines, roots that you eat that takes that sun energy, right, and converts that into energy, glucose, carbohydrates or glucose. Jucahu. Heavy science. When you investigate, heavy science, Taino. Heavy. That's root science. That's genetic science. And so we understand the root is being sustained by that. So if the sun decides to not shine, the sun decided to give up, everything here would cease to exist, because the root, in terms of natural nature, the root is supported by that electromagnetic force. All those electromagnetic force is in blackness, and the root is in blackness. It's submerged. You have a root right here in your solar plexus. It's submerged. As a matter of fact, they call it solar plexus because the tentacles reaches out. It's a root right here. It's your feelings and your emotions, your energy and emotion. That's the root of it. And that root is taking electromagnetic forces from your ideas and concepts. So you feed it good ideas and concept of light, consciousness, it goes into the submerged unconscious, the subconscious, which is your solar plexus. That's the root of it all. And that's so attached to genetics, because that solar plexus root, that solar plexus, the umbilical, that belly button, umbilical cord, that placenta, all the way into the womb, and on and on and on. It's the womb is the ma. You can't not cut that off. It's impossible for the survival. Yeah, men are trying to create test tube babies. They're trying to create something outside of it. But how successful are they? And what's going to happen to the planet? That's the reason why you see a lot of these movies where they show the planet is destroyed, but then you see robots, you see clones, like that. Something I was watching there. Oh, that Finch. You know what I'm saying? The root of it is the survival of the planet, biological. I'll leave it there. All in blessings to everyone that's on here and listening. And so I'm going to end this. This is a long one, but I just came on. I was like, enough is enough of this fake ass shit. You're exposed. And if the shoe fits, wear it, man. You're exposed. The light is on you. Whoop. See how you're going to handle it. See who's going to come out and talk. That's your mentor. See who's going to come out, flushing you out. See who's going to come out and talk this crap. They will never speak this crap or challenge me. Never challenge me on anything. And I'm not always right because I know right and wrong. But I know the difference between right and wrong. And investigation is at the core of it. Right now, I've been investigating a lot about the Ma Federation. So you got, check this out. Before they're like, that's not Scott. Now they're switching their narrative. They're including that in. I've been watching Assad, the brother Assad in Hotel. I see that. I see a lot of these. Now I see a lot of these looking back and they're like, whoa, wait a minute. But this is something that UNESCO has already been speaking about. This is something I've been speaking about in Harvard University back in the 1920s, back then in the 1800s, and you're just getting it now. And then I'm bringing a lot of this out, and now it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm exposing the root only because of the soil, the subconscious. You know what I'm saying? Acknowledging it, revering it, and acknowledging this is part of our being. And so now you see a lot of these podcasts talking about that. Now they're going back and investigating a lot of things. You know? So I'm going to do an extensive podcast on the Ma Federation and the archaeological and the paleoanthropology. Go really, really deep into that, and genetically how it's linked to us. And I already done it here. Ma Federation, Ma. You know what I'm saying? Well, Ma people became the Mande people all over. Mandala. The Mande people all over became the Bantu people. Spread that federation. Remember, it's not the first civilization. That's different than a federation. We got to make that distinction. I'm going to do that. Make a distinction between federation and civilization. One of the first civilization out here, definitely, when you talk about the Nile Valley civilization, yeah. But we're talking about federation. Predates. Federation forms civilization. Civilization do not form federation. It's the opposite. You have to understand that. Time sequence. Order a thing. A lot of these scholars had omitted datum, and altered time sequences. Their minds has been reversed. When they look at the map, they think that the map, they can't know that it's reversed. Okay? It's reversed. They don't see. In other words, a good exercise is the reciprocal and conflictable. It's an exercise. Okay? An exercise of knowing how reverse things. See, as a percussionist, we have to study that skills because we have to learn how to use one left hand and do one thing one hand, the other on the other hand, and looking at things from a reverse side. You have to be able to look at things, even when you deal with scholarship, or you deal with those education. You have to learn how to look at the reciprocal of things. That's why when I do the energy center, I always do the reciprocal. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to look at it also that this root energy center has reciprocal is the crown energy center. So you have to look at to see how it moves. And again, remember the Tai Chi wheel, reciprocal. It's again, these symbols are again ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge that are caught up in the symbols to protect, and they were used as teaching tools. Okay. Anyway, I'm out, and enough of this fake ass shit. You know what I'm saying, y'all? And listen, let's keep it real. Okay. Peace and blessings.